Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to The Last Stand Aftermath. We're revisiting this today because it seems it's celebrating its year release. It's on special at the moment, and this is, I'll say it might be one of my favorite roguelites going out there, which is, you know, flying under a lot of people's radars. Has a really good setup that you're in a zombie apocalypse. You know, you can already see the sort of vibe, the mood, and you're bitten. You're on death row. And you basically go out into the wilderness with a car with X fuel, and you just keep going and scavenging and clearing and doing tasks for the betterment of the people of your little society, your town. And then when you finally eat shit and die, they drive out with another car and they recover all your crap and bring it back. As far as an actual narrative setup for a roguelike that makes sense, explains meta progression, and it gives you this sort of purpose above yourself, I think it's just really clever. Anyway, I thought I'd gush about that because I think it's worth gushing about. We're going to go new game. We'll chuck it in a different save slot, and I'll show you what it's about. It doesn't hurt that it actually plays well as well. It's a top-down sort of isometric-looking thing. A lot of it rotates around your car's serviceability and fuel, and you stop at these little instanced areas to loot, to craft, to combat zombies, and keep the car going and get more gear for the next run, essentially. It's great. They failed. They failed at the attempts to something or other. Okay? We'll let this run. Some civilians eventually presented as immune. Estimated 5% of the population are only known as survivors. Are the only known survivors. Would need to find new ways to survive among the infected to adapt and change. The world no longer belongs to us. And it seems that it's not actually early access, it's full release, full-fledged games. Maybe I'll play through it and review it or something. I'm seriously considering reviewing games on the channel as well in the back end, because, you know, it's not like I don't work enough. But it's not every day that you get a roguelike with a 1.0 stamp on it. 15 years later. Where have you stopped? You're out of fuel? Yep, tank's empty. Should be an old Herc checkpoint nearby. I'd suggest starting there. So the Herc is your sort of bio-response people, and that represents like a big gold mine, and usually you can get injections that will stave off your infection rate. So you're constantly racing against the clock, and it ticks up, and you actually that's how you level up in a roguelike capacity. I'll show you as we get into it. But you can't ever reverse it, but you can slow it down. All right. I've got a flashlight, so you can repair your engine if needs be, and you can refuel. You can probably go around the back to refuel the car. Back here. Well, maybe not in this particular scenario. AWOL moving to sprint. Reload. Got an active reload system. Now the shooting, at first blush, I remember not loving it. Then I realised it's actually fantastic. Kind of works really well, and it limits the range that you are effective at. You don't want to be using guns all the time anyway. It makes a lot of noise. Just all things said, it's very zombie apocalypse. Like the aiming actually works better than, well, as he misses all his shots. The aiming works better than a lot of twin stick shooters. Jesus. I'm out of ammo, I think. Not anymore. This must be it. I need to start the generator. Spoiler alert, this is not going to go well for us. But again, it's one of those set-up things. This is going to create a wave while we wait for it to open. Anyway, I'm just really impressed with how clever it is for a roguelike setup. Oh, dodge. Oh my god. I'm fucked. No, maybe I could have snuck through, but whatever. No stress. So here we go. Death's not the end. World outside the colony is harsh. People will die. Cell holds volunteers. Members of the colony who are infected and have chosen to make their last stand beyond the walls of the end. Again, I can't help but gush about this because it's very self-sacrificing. I'm just surprised that I haven't seen more of this sort of stuff as a concept. And as you upgrade it and all that, you'll have multiple sort of archetypes and characters to choose from. This is just the one that they're giving me by default. I can't believe it's been a year. Had a bit of a series out of this. Hello. I know you're dying, so I'll keep it short. Doc Stedman says most of you only have a few days. They probably didn't tell you when you sign up for this, but the colony is starving. We need you to go to the wall. Find a way out. We need supplies, weapons, ammo, but the dead zone has been picked dry. So we're pushing into new frontiers as well, which is always something I really enjoy in games is exactly that, the edge of the frontier, the exploring component, right? Something new and mysterious. Talk to Stedman before you go. You've got an antiviral for you. Any questions? Nah, I've got it. Hey, look, I admire what you're doing. You can make a difference. Exactly, because all these people are immune, so they can appreciate the sacrifice, but not really do it themselves. Our next volunteer, my name is Stedman. I'll be overseeing you. Take this auto-injector for an antiviral. You'll need to find a Herc's comm station. They usually have refills. Was there anything else I can assist you with? No, because I kind of know what I'm doing already. Who's this goober? Amy. Dr. Stedman asked that you speak to him. I wanted to talk to you. It's okay, Amy, go ahead. Keep it brief. Hey, are you assisting? I'm helping Dr. Stedman with the volunteers. I'm learning a lot. I'm studying to be a medic. A medic? Yeah, hopefully I'll get to go on runs at some point. Anyway, I'm not quite ready to lose. Lots to learn. Okay, yep, cool. We've got a crafting bench here that we can't really do anything with. There's an experimental sort of crafting system, but also a blueprinting when you figure stuff out. This turns into a general storage where you can see this is our starting kit here, but I could leave it all in the armory. Now, I'm not 100% across why that's the case, even the time that I was playing it, but there might be an advantage to stripping down your survivor bear and going out fairly naked. Like a battery, for example, is actually very valuable for opening up all sorts of caches. Maybe I go, oh, fuck it, I'll put it in the armory because maybe I'll have a bit of a bare bones run. So the armory I still am a little confused about. There might be more meta upgrades and materials that you can get, so maybe you can craft some things and then just leave them for another survivor. No, I got it. What else? I believe there's a dude down here. Radar, right? Pass on knowledge. Again, cool mechanics. You unlock knowledge throughout the course of it, and this is your sort of meta progression. Upgrades, and yeah, in a gamification way, it is passed on to other survivors. It is good as well that the caches often will give you a choice between, do you invest in the current run with cool gear or whatever, or do you sort of pay it forward into a future run? Fixing to head out? Yep. Good. You look after Bessie for us. She ain't in the best shape. Fuel gauge is busted for one, but don't stress none. We've got a beacon on her so we can bring her back home. Just make sure you do your job and me and my boys can do ours. My job? You find caches, fire up them beacons. Then after you stop responding on the old radio, we swoop in, pick them up and get back here. So there you go. As good a setup as you could hope for. So as your engine wears, basically, starting up the engine becomes a nightmare. And you can get out and repair the engine fairly easily, but it's an interactable, it's a time investment. And before you know it, you're starting to fight off lots and lots of zombies. Anyway, I'm gushing because I love this game. You're out of fuel again? Not again, I'll kill that asshole. Buzzard. Shit, sorry boss, the boys must have forgot to fill her up. Downtown, right? We got a drop zones. We got a drop zone there with some gas. Go grab it. If you get another volunteer killed, I swear to God, out. Pretty piss weak on his part. All right, off we go. And then, so it begins. Start scavenging. I believe there's a... That's the reload. I can't quite... I think there might be like a way to sort of pulse. Not sure. Anyway. Let's go in here. Come on then. Ow. See how much damage they do? Yeah, I think there's a way to coup de grace. Not 100% sure. Take all. So we can fire up that bonfire and we'll be able to do rudimentary crafting there. That's right, and opening gates draws attention, takes a lot of time. You can smash it with your melee weapon to speed it up. Oops, I probably shouldn't have skipped that, but we've got fuel. You can see down the bottom corner, it's listing the amount there. Here we go. I guess I can't combine them together. All right, that's fine. Up we go. Oh man, it's very cool to be playing this again. Refuel the car. See, now it says 0 out of 1. Oh, there you go. 2 out of 1. 3 out of 1. Cool. Find the Herc structure. So I think this is like still an instanced area, but it's usually kind of... Oh, Jesus. Get another pistol. Here you go. Here's the Herc thing. Got a battery powered... Oh, there you go. And then we can get the injector out of there. A serum that stops the infection for a short period. While active, you are immune to further infection from all sources. You can see, and it slowly takes over your health bar as well. So eventually it will kill you, which is cool. A lot of games don't actually deal with that, like the zombie bite killing the player off over time. You know what I mean? You're usually immune, or it's narrative or whatever. But this, you know, if you don't die otherwise, or you get super weak because of it, because it saps your health bars and lowers your max health, eventually you're going to just die because you're so weak and you're going to get one-tapped. Stedman here, did you find the antiviral? Good. Remember, that dose will only last so long. Keep an eye out for Herc structures. Most had dispensers installed. Make sure to stay focused and get those supplies. Roger! Okay. Now, is it just telling me to drive away or what? It's not telling me to do shit. It's alright, maybe I'll keep exploring. Yeah, so this instance is a little bit more narrow. Doesn't look like we can go exploring any of these buildings, but it is about the right size for these instances. They're only yay big. What can we do here? Craft. So there is some crafting we can do. There we go. Look at this. Molotov cocktail. And then that goes in our permanent recipes. So there is a, a trial and error. Bottle suppressor. Cool. Inventory. You can see we've got that, but we've got no ammo for it. Attachments. Bottle suppressor. We picked up a muzzle brake or something, didn't we? I thought we did. Canned meat. wrench. Oh, a shotgun choke. That's what it was. Right. Okay, cool. It is one of those games where you do, like, I talk often about how consumables in video games are kind of just a waste of time, because how many times have you been like, oh, once you realize mana potions or health potions can be used, you generally just don't use them if you can help it. You play the game and then you'll clock Oblivion or whatever and you'll have 10,000 health potions. And just be like, what was even the point of them? I learnt to play around them. This game, you kind of actually go through all your shit. You got to come up with clever, like that Molotov, you're going to use that if you can help it. Cool. So you can't go through these areas. You have to stop, but you can see we've got branching areas, different advantages and all that. But this is your sort of roguelike progression that you're probably used to. Rogue-lite. More stores were looted within the days of the outbreak. Apparently this is not a standalone game. Like The Last Stand was an older series, totally different game. So I think this is a reimagining. I didn't actually realize that until I was looking at the store page before. Okay. Focus mode, that's what I was wondering about. When focusing, you will gain insight into the area around you. During combat, focus mode also slows down time and increases damage. You have limited focus and it decreases faster as you move and fire, right? I use it mostly as a navigational aid. You can see all the little question marks, little points of interest. I actually want to equip my pistol. Jesus. I didn't actually see all those dudes. Alright, we've got fuel in there. Yeah, so not everything's a runner. You guys got anything interesting? You can see my infection meter starting to build there. A little bit of purple sneaking in. Remove. So what we can do is use the injector now. There we go. And that will stop it from progressing. But again, I only got so long and it's kind of super rare. Gear, hey? Cool. All right. I'm out of antiviral. No, whoops, I pressed the wrong button. Med kit, let's go. Handy. So when I do finally lose a health chunk, I will get a mutation upgrade. So as you do lose that health from the virus, you slowly get these advantages. That reminds me of Rad. So I'm losing health, but I'm not getting virus. Shit. My weapon broke. Oh, look at the bullet holes in the glass. Now that is groovy. Supply bags. Turn the supply bag to the trunk of your vehicle to claim the supply inside, which can be used by future volunteers to purchase unlocks, end items, and so on, right? So when it gets recovered with my car after my death, it'll be usable back at base. Fucking hell. Jesus. How are we doing for... Oh, fuck that up. How are we doing for ammo? We're running out. And all this ruckus is just bringing everything in. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, bit of fuel. I can't carry them both. Interesting. Goodness me. Alright, we definitely did this room. Cool. Now, canned meat gives you stamina heal. So my max stamina's dropped, you can see there. Med kit. Health 100. How much is a block of health? That's something I'm not really across. How many are we down? 3 and a bit. And you actually have to animate to use the healing kit. It's almost Tarkov-like. It's a bit brutal. How much are you going to give me back there, game? Holy heck. More than 3? Worth knowing. Okay. I need to get this fuel back to the car. And I want that case as well. Yeah, so I think using stamina when you're overmaxed is how... See that? I think that's how you exhaust yourself. Okay. God damn it, I don't really want that trouble, do I? Because I'm down a melee weapon. I might be able to craft one. No. Oh, here we go. What's this? Hey! So these are the caches that we're ultimately trying to get a hold of, right? So what can we take here? Items? Or we can activate the beacon. There you go. Items contained within the supply cache will be converted to supply for future volunteers. So either we scavenge it for ourselves or we leave it for further runs. I'm going to take it for myself because I want that fucking wrench. Anything interesting we can do here? I think the suppressor lasts forever. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Where are you? Yeah, he's not having it. Right. Oh, that's the antidote wearing off. there one right there? Fucking is too. Alright. Might pay to get a wriggle on, eh? Bit hard up for ammo. Good amount of fuel there. That's nice. Just check the shelves. Got anything interesting here? So obviously you're against the clock a bit, so do you really want to always be this thorough? Well, that's the thing. It actually makes you make interesting decisions. You gain some knowledge. Knowledge will contain information useful to the colony. Find an upgrade radio to use this found knowledge to research permanent upgrades for volunteers. Don't worry, all knowledge points are passed on to your next volunteer when they die, right? So it's not like you can lose this. It is perma currency, which I think you kind of need that element in these sort of games if you are going to go down the rogue-lite path. I'll just really quickly do this. No, we already have that, don't we? Okay, let's get out of here. You can see we've actually lost a fair bit of infection. So, you know, taking this long is not always the move. Oh, I actually had to leave some fuel behind because my car is actually that full. Okay. And then where could we go next? -1 engine, 2 fuel. That's got a $sign next to it. Merchant. Apparently there's a merchant there. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's travel there. So, you know, there's plenty more to it, you know, more upgrades and those like wave defense generator things, opening Herc facilities. And then there's story points as well. So when you get to the boundary of the Deadlands, you know, you move into the next act. So it's got everything that you could possibly need. I guess we'll just stop there because we'll wind up. But yeah, Last Stand Aftermath. Can't recommend it more highly. I think as far as roguelites go, it's really good at marrying, how do you say, like getting the theme right. And while it doesn't necessarily have like a narrative to write home about, it's also not just a throwaway arcade game, which, you know, roguelites can fall into the category of. You think of things like Vampire Survivors and all that, and it's very much just a pure game. Whereas this, it actually feels like a little bit more, dare I say, cinematic in a way, because they've married it all together with all the mechanics from a ground-up approach to revolve around being just a really sensible in-universe roguelike, I suppose. Anyway, but I'm just gibbering and blabbering and gushing. I'm a big fan. But of course, you know, don't listen to me, guys. I'm just a dickhead who plays video games. I wouldn't know anything. I don't know anything. Make up your own mind. It's your money. Anyway, team, I might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.